Hi guys, Mike in the Woods here, and for this video I want to do a complete teardown of everything that's in my everyday carry bag. So if you've been paying attention to my channel for a while, you'll know that I've already done a video on this in the past, but if you've watched it, you'll know that the video quality is absolutely terrible, so I'm going to throw it in the trash and do a fresh one. Plus I've made some changes since then, so it'll be nice to have an up-to-date one. So before I do a teardown, I want to give you some context as to why certain things are in the bag and why the kit is designed the way it is, so you understand why I have what I have in there. I've had my bag for 5 to 6 years. I'm a programmer by trade. I live and work in the city, and it's very rare for me to wander outside of dense urban areas in my day-to-day life. I have to drive for an hour to get out into rural areas if I want to do some outdoors adventuring, at the very least. And hopefully as I go through my bag, it gives you some ideas of what you can put in yours. And if you have any comments or ideas for mine, I would absolutely love to hear them as well. So here we go. So this is the bag. It's the Condor Messenger Bag. A lot of people opt for more of a backpack style. I went for the messenger style because if I ever have a backpack with me, I want to be able to carry both. Condor gets a lot of flack, mostly because it's made in Asia, and there's quality concerns with Condor stuff, but I've had this bag for at least 6 years, and aside from some fraying where it sits up against me when I walk with it on the outer liner, it's still holding up quite well. The zippers are all holding up. There's no tears in any of the straps. So yeah, if you're curious about Condor's quality, I can still recommend it if you're looking for a budget option. So let's start with everything that's on the outside of the bag. So first and foremost, coffee. That is the most important part of the kit and cannot survive a day without it. So I've got my watertight thermos here that's held in place by a MilSpec Monkey bottle holder. And you can sort of see there that it also sits inside of this green plastic cup, which actually came as part of my stainless steel cook set that I got for my outdoors kit. So if I ever need a cup, I have one on me at all times as well. So this is held in with friction. If I dump the bag upside down, you'll see that that's not going anywhere. And that allows me to be hands-free while I'm walking around if I have a drink with me. And then if I don't have the coffee, I can also put like a bottle of pop or a bottle of water in there as well. It's probably one of the most useful things I stuck on my bag. So I'll take that out for now, move that aside. So on the other side, you've probably seen this in my unboxing of the battle box I got, but I took this pouch and I turned this into my first aid kit. So I don't need a super ridiculously big first aid kit in my everyday carry. I just need stuff for, things that'll have happen to me on a day-to-day basis. So I've got antiseptic wipes, so if I got a small cut or scrape or something, I can clean it before I apply a bandage. I've just got a single pair of thick plastic gloves. Got some band-aids here. Just normal size band-aids, nothing crazy. Some medication, stool softener, and Imodium. Some Benadryl because I have pretty bad allergies at times. And one pro tip, tear off the tab that gives you your instructions for how to take medication so that you can have that with you so you don't forget. I also have another really large bandage in case something really bad happens and I need to bandage it up before I get to a hospital. I live in Canada, so I have access to funded healthcare. So back over to this side, we've got my keys on a carabiner, so that I have easy access to them. I've got my car key on there. I've got this Coughlin whistle that also has a compass, small magnifying glass, and a thermometer on it. All my keys, key fob to the front of my building, and a small dog tag, which I'm not going to show you because it's got my contact information on it. But it basically has my name and my phone number on it, so that if someone finds my keys or my bag, and they're a decent individual, I can get my bag back. And I also have a tiny little pen flashlight. Nothing crazy, just something so I can see in the dark if I need to. So now we'll start with what's actually in the bag, starting from the front and back. So when we open it up, I've got my passport, which is mostly to use as a extra form of ID. Got some snacks in there in case I get hungry on my adventures, because I am on the go 24/7. Like, I pretty much rarely ever have free time, so even finding time to like get a proper meal and cook is hard. So it's my my way of cheating on the meal front. Just some wet wipes in case I get messy. My bank book. I'm not going to show you the front, but a lighter. I'm not a smoker, but just having a single source of fire starting is useful. And if people pester you for a light, you know, you can give it to them, especially if it's like a friend or something. So now move on to the main pouch. So we've got my knife. This is probably too big of a knife for what I need in my day-to-day. I'm actually thinking about taking this out and replacing it with something smaller, just a little folder. But this is the Cold Steel Peacemaker III. Pretty good knife, but a little bit overkill for a city boy like me. I've got a cloth bag that I got from my last job, just in case I buy something. You know, I'm a little bit environment conscious, so I don't want to like waste plastic bags if I don't have to, or if I have something really heavy I have to carry, and I have a bag that I can put it in. I'll unfold it so you can see. Just a simple canvas, I think it's made of. Just a simple canvas bag. I've got this, which is just a folded up bandana. That's just in there if I need to dry off or wipe something up, or I need a napkin, or even if it's like snowing heavy and I don't have a scarf with me or something. There's a lot of uses you can get out of a small bandana. Got some duct tape in there, so if I need to temporarily repair something until I can make actual repairs, I have that. Got a pair of gloves that I got from my last job. Just a simple small pair of gloves, but the tips of the fingers, I can actually use my smartphone with it. And they take up like no space and are pretty lightweight, so I just have those in there. I've got my knee brace in there because I actually have a bit of a bad knee at times. So for when my knee starts acting up, I have that to put over top of it and keep it a little bit more restrictive. I've got this, which is just a little pouch that has some cordage in it. I'm not going to open it up and take it out because it's all nicely wound in there. But I've got about I want to say 50 feet of just some thin like mason twine. And I have the end sticking out, so I can just pull it out as needed. I'll tuck that back in there. A bit of toilet paper. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. If I ever go somewhere where they're out of TP, I'm not stuck up Crap Creek without a paddle. I've got business cards, because like I said, I'm a programmer by trade, so if someone asks me for a business card, I actually have some. They're actually out of date. I really need to update those. I've got a pair of candles, so in case the power goes out at home or at work, I don't have to burn through all my batteries and my flashlight, and just light one or both of these, and these should last for at least a couple hours. Got an extra pair of socks. In my day-to-day, I dress business casual, so I wear business shoes, slide on and off kind. So if I get wet feet, like when it's really slushy outside because it's the middle of winter right now, I have an extra pair of socks that I can slip on once I get to work and have some nice dry feet. This is something that pretty much any urban person should have with them. Ignore the label on the front. but this is my electronics upkeep kit. So, oh, that's not good. So I've got a battery bank in there. So if your phone runs low or out of a charge, you have a battery bank with you so that you can charge your phone no matter where you are, even if you're out in the middle of the woods. I also have a little cigarette lighter part. So you stick this in your car's cigarette lighter, and it's got a USB port on it so you can charge in your car. I've got a wall socket to USB adapter so I can plug right into the wall and pull power off of a wall. The USB cord so that I can plug my phone in. Just a small USB drive because, like I said, I'm a fairly digital person in my day-to-day life. So this lets me move stuff around, and I don't otherwise have something to move it around. I have the thumb drive. And just a small all-weather notebook. And then this is my small survival kit. It might be a bit overkill, but it takes up almost no weight and is very small, so it doesn't really constitute much issue having it in there. So, cracking it open, right on the front you can see I have some matches stapled to it, along with a sewing needle, and that brown part you see is a striking surface for the matches. And actually digging in, I've got a coffee filter for filtering water, some more alcohol wipes. I've got a small lighter. I've got a very small flashlight. Got a birthday candle. This is very good for preserving flame and starting fires. I've got some dental floss, which makes really good emergency cordage and keeps your breath minty fresh. Some fishing line. A small whistle that I 3D printed. Some crazy glue. A very tightly packed up plastic bag for collecting water. A small knife. A signaling mirror. A piece of tin foil. Some fishing hooks. Some duct tape. And something that's not in there that I actually have to replace after I'm done recording this is also put a $20 bill in there, so you have an extra bit of money if you need to get home or something, or buy something off someone. So I'm going to worry about putting that back together later. And then the last thing in this section is a small sewing kit. So this is like an old, I think it's like an Advil container, and all I have in there is some sewing needles. So if I need to repair my clothing or my bag itself, or like do emergency on-the-spot stitches, which I certainly hope I'm never in a situation to have to do that, I have a small sewing kit to do that. So going to the very back, this is where I keep all of my notebooks and my documentation. So in here, all I've got is just a really crappy dollar store raincoat, so that if it's very inclement weather out and I'm stuck outside for a little bit of time, I'm not going to get completely drenched. It's not the most amazing one in the world, but it will keep me drier than, say, not having one. I've got my big design notebook. So I might have mentioned this once or twice, but I come from a game development background, and not only that, but I have a lot of project ideas and all sorts of stuff that I like to write down and sketch and have ideas for. And this is just a nice, high-quality sketchbook for me to write down my notes and detail everything I need to detail. I actually just recently had to buy a new one, so this doesn't have very much in it yet, but I have at least 3 of these sitting around that I've already filled up. So this lets me have this on hand, so if I'm on lunch break at work or sitting at the mall somewhere and an idea comes to my head, I can quickly jot it down and I have that to reference later. This is another small little notebook. This is what I use for anything relating to my 3D printing that I do, or anything relating to income. So this is more the business side of things. And then the very last thing that I have in the back there is my schedule planner. I don't use this nearly as much as I should. Like I said, I have a very busy day-to-day life, and this lets me get some of the chaos out of my head and have this to rely on so I don't forget things. And there's actually one last section of the bag to go through. That's everything on the underside. So going right off the bat here on the front, I've got an extra set of batteries for my small flashlight there. So I've got 3 extra batteries. It only needs 1 to run, so it's got quite a lot of runtime. I've also got a compass that I stuck in there. Don't really need that, but I had it on hand in the open space, so I said why not. Also in here, I have my knife sharpener, so if I need to sharpen my multi-tool, which is actually really dull right now, or the knife that's in my kit, I have that to sharpen it. It's just a simple V-sharpener. It won't give you the sharpest knife edge, but it's very easy, very simple to use, and perfect for just regular day-to-day stuff in urban environments. Got a measuring tape. A set of earplugs. And the reason I have these is because I used to actually take the GO train to get to work. And it would get quite noisy, especially if there was like a hockey game or a baseball game, since the train goes downtown Toronto and that's where the stadiums are. So I would have these on hand to plug my ears and not get aggravated at all the annoying people getting drunk on a public train. I don't need these so much anymore, but they're a relic of that era. So this part is my overnight kit. So if I stay overnight at a friend's place or something, which is very rare, but I at least have it on hand. I've got my toothbrush and toothpaste, which is just a normal toothbrush that I sawed in half because I couldn't find a small one to put in there. A very small, thin bar of soap. I think I stole this from the last hotel I stayed at. Or, no, it wasn't that I stayed at. It was my fiance's mom. And we came over and took the soap. Hand sanitizer, just because you touch all kinds of nasty, gross things in your day-to-day life. And a bottle of shampoo, which is actually empty right now. I need to get more in there. And then the very last section is this on the bottom here, and that's just where I keep writing utensils. So I just got a pen and a small Sharpie. So that's my E.D.C kit. It's got a lot of utility, but it's not too crazy. You know, I don't have stuff in there for the zombie apocalypse. I just have everything I might need for my day-to-day life. Everyone's life is different, so what you need in yours might be completely different from what I have in mine. But yeah, this is my kit. Let me know what you think.